What's going on, YouTube? This is Andre here from Final Turn, presenting you fun little Gavrail Angel Feather Gyze deck profile. I know most of you are like, oh, but why don't you running No Seal? And Gavrail does have a few things over No Seal that can help her kind of turbo to Gyze a little bit quicker. Although I'll still obviously agree that No Seal is still the better or more competitive version of this, but this is something you can consider for fun if you just wanted to play Gyze and just mess around with it. So, for my starter, I run one copy of Gyze. It's Gyze. It's your win con of the deck. Grade 3 wise, we go 4 Block Shock Gavrail Prim. This is the Vanguard you want to be on all the time. She's really good for helping you get cards that you may need to help tank the next turn from your damage zone. She gives you a rescue check, which is what this deck mostly runs around on. Overall, you want to be riding this Vanguard all the time. The GB2 you never use just because, like, your only units with the rescue check are Gavrail Eden. You're just going to be your first ride all the time. But the strat skill is the reason why we play her, and run 4, no question about that. Next, for our grade 3s, we run 3 Black Widow Saroshas. If you notice, in No Seal Gyze, you only tend to run just the grade 3 No Seal, 4 copies of her, and that's it. But in Gavrail Gyze, it's a little bit different. Reason being that this card has a rescue check. That's why we run 3 copies of her. She has a rescue check. You get more triggers, you accelerate towards Gyze, you're done. Her second skill is actually really interesting, so you can counterblast one and soul blast one. When your card with the rescue ability is put into your damage zone, doesn't matter whose turn it is or how it was put into the damage zone. If it was just put into your damage zone, you can pay the cost and then you can add a card to your hand from your damage zone and put one other face up. So it's really good for helping you maintain some hand advantage if you're going to get cards that you need, and it also trolls you during your opponent's turn, can help for Broken Heart plays. For grade 2s, we run 4 Black Cave Ezzles. She has a rescue check. I'm sorry if this sounds really repetitive, but like... That's why you run it. Yeah, she has a rescue check. That's why we run her. You could also call her to the board, so you basically put her in with Gavrail's skill, if she's in your hand. Put her into the damage zone, and then just call her with a rescue check. I guess she's also an interceptor you can call for, you know. Because if you haven't played against Gyze way too much, you don't really attack the Vanguard just because you want to deny them damage. So you all might think this is interesting, but like I said, this is kind of more of a fun build, so I don't exactly have like the $20 cards that you want to be playing. This really should be Celestial Surreal, because she's also an 8K base, it can help you put any card you want in the damage zone. But since I don't have her yet, the substitute for this is Thermic Shot Nurse. She's also an 8K base, and we run her because she can kind of troll Nupatamba. Because when you put her into the drop zone, you can soul charge one, then if it was done by the rescue ability, which is one of your G guards, you can call her over. So you basically call over the dominated units. So we run her because she's an AK base and Nupatamba counter. Finally, the reason why this deck can at least tank somewhat, 4 Nurses of Broken Heart. Card into damage zone, your Vanguard gains power when you can't get power from your triggers. Helps you tank. Not really much to say about it. For our grade 1s, we run 2 Black Talent Lila. So if we were playing straight up Gavrail, you would run 4 of this, but since we're playing Gavrail Gyze, and the only way that we can call her from the damage zone is with Gavrail Eden, what we only have 2 copies of, we will only run her at 2, just for the sole purpose. If you can get out of the damage zone, you get a rescue check for a Soul Blast. She has a rescue check. Again, keeping with the theme of this deck. We run 2 copies of Kind Karosartal, because we like to soul charge sometimes and we hate decking out. This deck can come pretty close to decking out, so she helps you put some cards back in at least. Finally, for the new Rescue PGs, No Seal Gyze will tend to run the old Rescue PG. but since we're always going to be on a Vanguard with the rescue ability, we can take advantage of the second skill to basically get some clutch sealed from the damage zone and help put 2 cards into the damage zone because she puts 1 face down, then rescue check, so that's... Your Broken Hearts are going to trigger twice off that. And yeah, she gives you a rescue check on the opponent's turn. And finally, 4 copies of Black Hall Nakir. Stride Fodder. Search for Gavrail, because you need copies of Gavrail to Ultimate Stride. Also Stride Fodder. So for our janky tech of the deck, we run 2 copies of Shadow Element Bikin. Problem with this deck is that it doesn't tank as hard as No Seal Gyze, since we don't have the hand advantage that No Seal Gyze does. So what we have to do is we kind of have to be scrappy when playing Gavrail, and this card helps you be scrappy because against things like Gear Next or any kind of restanding Vanguards, you just put this card in the Guardian Circle and that Vanguard cannot hit, so it acts like a PG for restanding Vanguards. So since we kind of have the room for it, this card just helps the survivability of the deck a little bit until you can get to Gyze, if you haven't reached it by first stride already. 1 Refrost, haven't used it. Helps prevent deck out. You can even draw a card. Wish it was a rescue check, but can't get everything we want. 3 copies of Surgery Angel. I've been thinking about bumping this up to 4 and cutting out the Refrost, but for now, 3 of this is fine. It has a rescue check when it boosts. That's why we run it. Rescue check. And finally, 8 draw triggers. No reason to play crits in this deck because it's Gyze and you don't want to damage your opponent's Vanguard if you have to give them a damage. Stand triggers don't also do much because you don't attack the Vanguard, so you might as well run these draw triggers. Helps you build hand up too. And finally, 4 of our damage on flipping heals. They're heal triggers. We tank. We're Gyze, so you run heal triggers, and it recharges resources. Mainly the soul, which is a little bit of a resource you need to keep in mind. That's it for the main deck. For the G Zone, 2 copies of Fanatic Seraph, Gavrail Eden. She has a rescue check. Not much else to say. She has a rescue check. The second skill you might use sometimes if you have like a Broken Heart in your damage zone, or if you have like a Black Talent Lila in your damage zone. So that's when you would use the second skill to call stuff from your damage zone. Since Gyze himself does count as a face-up card in your G zone, you can call 2 when she attacks. She doesn't have to attack the Vanguard to use that effect, so that's really good. But yeah, we have some uses for her. She's your go-to first stride in this deck. 5 Zeroth Dragons. This is Gyze.
Well, 4 and a mermaid.
Yeah, 4 in our alternate art Megiddo-chan. It's actually hilarious when people see Megiddo-chan just being flipped over for the effect. 4 copies of Raphael. Super simple effect. G Persona, flip a copy of her, and then you could heal a damage. This is Gyze. We tank. Finally...
Just to be clear, when you say tank, you mean like you roll in like a tank. Not
That's how it
brick.
is. That's how it is.
Okay.
1 copy of Black Seraph, Velador Terminal, the GB8. She has the rescue ability. You don't actually use the rescue ability, because if you probably use the rescue ability, you would probably deck out by that point you get to her. But she's compatible with Gavrail's GPT-2 skill, and since we're running 5 Zeroth Dragons, we just have this random tech slot that you can't really do much with, so we just run this, because you can just stride for free with Gavrail's GPT skill if, like, everything's going to wrong. I guess you could also run a 3rd copy of Gavrail if you wanted to do that too, of Gavrail Eden. Finally, G-Guards. Clutch 5k shield. Clutch 10k shield. Although, because you rescue check and don't use Counterblast in this deck, you sometimes don't get the plus 20 shield. But it's just big. Finally, you get rescue checks off these on your opponent's turn. And it gives you the Oracle Think Tank skill if you can check the top card to see if it's a trigger. But yeah. I've been thinking about bumping this up to 3, but 2's been working for me fine.
Nice.
So, that's really it for the deck profile. I guess one thing that I would want to say is that I know a lot of you are probably going to criticize me for not running it, but if you probably wanted to, you could definitely take these out and run Black Mixer Hinkle. The reason I'm not running Black Mixer Hinkle is because it's 20 bucks. And with the end of G happening, I don't really want to invest 20 bucks into a deck I just recently got like the parts for really cheap. But yeah, run Black Mixer Hinkle if you can afford her and you want to be playing this deck. Otherwise, these work just fine. But that's it for the deck profile. Like, comment, subscribe. Hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know if you have anything else I should be playing in it, because I'm still kind of new to it. But until then, Andre from Final Turn, peace out.